Today on Unpacked.
I never thought people would be so cruel. I wanted to tell my parents so bad, be like, something is going on.
With young people, there's a certain level of ignorance.
I just don't understand why you should be mean to the next person because they are different.
No one can truly quantify the effects of bullying, but today's guest is here to share her story. Let's unpack. Martha Thsehla had to learn about the harsh realities of life from a very young age. The classroom and corridors of the schools she attended turned out to not be safe spaces of learning for her, but those that would bring confusion and darkness. This is her story. Let's unpack. Thsehla, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So take me back to what your upbringing was like.
Okay, so I was born in a small village called Skororo in Tanin, and then I was raised in Palabura, in Limpopo, where I'm currently residing. From, let's just say, the day I was born, even though I don't remember much, to grade R. It was a fun childhood. I was a bubbly child. I was spoiled, extremely spoiled. I was like the only child for like 9 years. So it was like an amazing time for me. I lived with my mom, my dad, my grandparents. And yeah, everything was amazing from 0 to like 6 years old.
So now you start creche and school. What was that experience like?
I mean, creche was okay. I've always been the girl that was in front of the class, a leader, I can say, because I believed, I don't know, being loud made me want to become a leader in some sort. So grade R was nothing, there was nothing wrong with it. Happy times. And then I moved to a public school in grade 1, which was basically where the bullying started and the nightmare started basically in grade 1. And yeah, nothing bad. I mean, in grade 1, you don't really know what bullying is. You just know somebody's teasing you. You don't tell your parents. It's just a normal thing, okay? You're teasing me, then you move on. It's a normal day. So, yeah.
Do you recall the first incident? Or what is the earliest incident you remember?
My earliest incident was in grade 1, and I recall it very vividly because I was in a public school, and in public schools, as you know, you get free food in a way. So my dad wanted me to not feel the pressure of being in a public school, so he'd make lunch boxes for me. It would be a thing of maybe I leave for school early in the morning, so he'd pack 2 lunch boxes, one for breakfast, this is still funny to me, one for breakfast and one for lunch. So he'd pack those 2 things. Now, when I got to school and I had to have my breakfast, people would bully me on some, you put yourself high, why are you having lunchbox? Why can't you go and get food from there? That's why you fat. Things like that. You don't understand them as a child. You're like, okay, but there's nothing I can do. My parent is the one that's doing this for me. I mean, I don't think he ruined me, but he just wanted me to not feel the pressure of like being in public school, my friends being in a private school. So that's when it started, the bullying in like grade 1, being bullied for lunch boxes, and then being bullied just for being the girl that would answer questions in class when the teacher asks you. I'll be the girl that'd be like, yeah, when teacher asks you, what is this, and I'll be the first one. So I'd also be bullied for that.
So, I mean, grade 1 is still quite young. We're talking 6, 7 years old. So take us through the progression. Was this like becoming an everyday thing, or is it like every week from what you can remember?
It was maybe like not every day, but it happened a lot during the week. It would not be every day. Nobody would decide to bully every day, but it would be like a lot of times during the week. As I said, when I had 2 lunch boxes for school, or when I raised up my hand, because they would be like, why are you taking all the attention? I'm like, I'm trying to be proactive in class. And still, I wouldn't understand that, but it was a thing of like, it was not every day, but it happened and it made an impact. And I realized it today, that what type of impact it made on me.
So what do you recall happening next in terms of you sharing with your parents what was happening at school? Because most parents will be like, how was school today?
Thing is, I didn't live with my mom. My mom lived in Polokwane, so she would come back every Friday in Palabora. So I lived with my dad. I wouldn't tell my dad things like, he would ask, but I would just be like, it was good. I wouldn't be like, this happened, they bullied me because of my life. No, I didn't want to make him feel bad. At the same time, I was like, there's no need to tell somebody. As much as I feel like the school knew what was going on, they didn't say anything. So who am I to say something? So I didn't tell anybody. My dad wouldn't really ask me how my day was, but I didn't tell anybody, and I didn't feel the need to tell anybody. So, yeah.
When did it start to feel like, I mean, was it early on that it started to feel like it was really eroding you? Because these things usually progress in terms of how you experience them.
It started, when I moved to a private school in the same area. I moved to a private school in grade 2. So when I got there, grade 2 was okay. I feel like I don't want to bash any schools, but the private school kids were kind of nicer to me more than the public school kids. So in grade 2, grade 3, everything was okay. It just progressed when it got to grade 6, 7. That's when you start going through a bit of puberty, and people are going through stages, and it just gets worse. I remember one incident, we had a swimming pool at our school. So that day, nobody brought swimming clothes. So we just had to swim with what we had. So my thing was I was wearing a tight inside, I was wearing a shirt, because I always wore shirt inside my hands. So I went and I swam, but thing is I forgot my skirt by the other side of the pool. So I remember going to look for my skirt, and the next thing I know was like 2 boys are holding my skirt side by side and making fun of me. And that's when it hurt me, and I was like, I laughed about it because I was like, I'm not going to tell my mom. I'm not going to tell her. But it hurt me. It really did.
And what was, because you remember that moment so well, what was the feeling you were going through when that was happening?
I was going through a lot of hurt, more even rejection, because I never thought people would be so cruel. Yes, you make fun of a person here and there, but when you emphasize that they're different, it's when just things on some, I am different, I know that, but why are you emphasizing it? So in that sense, that it really hurt me. Like every day I would ask myself, why? But I wouldn't. I wanted to tell my parents so bad. I wanted to tell my mom and be like, something is going on. But I tell her, she tells the school tells my bullies, they're gonna continue. They're not gonna stop. They're gonna be like, why did you tell the teacher? Why did you do this? So I was like, I'm not telling anybody. I'm gonna cry alone and I'm gonna fix it at the end of the day.
You speak about that moment. Do you feel like the bullying gets accompanied by humiliation, embarrassment, and any other emotions that maybe you can name?
Yes, it gets accompanied by those things. If a person comes and says, look, Thsehla, you gained weight in front of the whole class, or they're like, why are you not participating in PE? Because we had PE in primary. And you're like, I'm not gonna do that because as much as I try to do that, you're gonna bully me, you're gonna make fun of me, you're gonna be like, why are you not running as fast as me? You're gonna do, so it gets accompanied by those. Being in primary and getting bullied by high school kids, and they're like, why?
Why were you why were you interacting with high school kids while you were in primary?
Not even interacting. Not even. They just see you. Our school is so small. My school, the one that I used to attend, was so small. It was a private school, but it was so small to a point of everybody knew everybody. There was no way you went to the school I went and I didn't know you. I knew you because it was so small. So high school kids would see me and they would make fun of me. Because you know how you go through stages and high school kids start dating young kids. And it's just, they're like, I'm not saying I wanted to date, but you're not getting any,
attention of that kind.
From guys. So they would make fun of you for that. They'll be like, working, you're fat. Like, it's the little things. Even if if a person says, you look different today, something changed the budget. It's the small things, and they would make fun of me for that.
And was it also in the how they said it?
Yeah, it was how they said it. Because if a person comes here and they're like, okay, you gained weight, maybe they say it in a nice way, and they're like, let's start jogging together. Or they're like, okay, I'm gonna start jogging next week. Don't you wanna join me? It's different. The delivery is important. You can't just come to a person and be like, you need to start eating less. Because people have sicknesses, if I may put it like that. Not everybody just eats a lot and just lays around. It's accompanied by sicknesses and what things we don't know about. Because I have thyroid problem that I didn't know about till recently. And I was like, okay, this is what's impacting my weight and stuff.
You mentioned that because you were different and that you knew you were different, but people wanted to point out you were different. In what way were you different?
I was different because I was a size 30-something in grade 7. I was different because I was a giant. I'm tall, so I'm taller than everybody in class. So I was different in many ways. Like, I'm tall. I don't wear the same sizes as the next person. When I go to the shop, I can't go to Mr. Price with you and expect to get the nicest things inside there. I'd usually get, like, ugly things, but because I want something to wear, I would buy those things.
So as in your options are limited because of your size?
Very.
Yeah, because also you're very tall. So what were some of the things that they made fun of you about?
My weight. My legs, I have very big feet. The way I spoke, because most people think my voice is just too deep to be a girl's voice. And yeah, just having a normal lunchbox would be a big issue. I was not supposed to eat. Apparently, I'm not supposed to eat because I'm fat. I'm supposed to starve myself.
So what would happen when you were opening your food at school?
The looks were the worst. Just somebody giving you that look of, why are you eating? The looks were the worst. Apart from anything else, the looks were the worst because that would make me close my lunch tin and be like, I'm not eating, I'll eat when I get home. So nobody sees me.
And I think the difficulty is, first off, you don't owe anybody an explanation.
Yes.
But with young people, and I'm talking the school-going age, there's a certain level of ignorance about it. So do you think the kids that were bullying you at the time were ignorant or they were just mean-spirited?
Both. But most, one therapist once told me, and my aunt and anybody else who I confided in, say at some point, they once told me that when a person bullies you, they're usually going through something. I, till this day, don't believe in that, because why should you go through something and bully the next person? Because when you're going through something, you might not know what I'm going through, but you're gonna bully me, and that is gonna leave a scar in my... You might get healed, but I will never. No matter if I decide to lose weight or... Because there'll always be body dysmorphia if I decide to lose weight. So I don't believe in the fact that because somebody is going through a rough time or because they're ignorant, they should bully the next person. Yes, it's different now because bodies are starting to be appreciated. We get stores that fit like our category. We get like clothes for us and stuff. But like, I just don't understand why you should be mean to the next person because they are different. I might have a different nose than you. Your nose might be perfect, but mine might not be. So there's no need for you to be like, oh, your nose has no bridge. It's weird. There's no need in that.
What were some of the standout incidents that happened to you in high school?
In high school, I remember we had stairs. In my school, as I said, it's small, so you have all your high school classes upstairs and your primary classes downstairs. So when you had to go to your next class, whether from lunchtime or whatever, you would have to take the stairs. And we only had 2 stairs, meaning you take, and they would only allow you to take one, is that a flight or what?
One staircase?
Yeah, to your next class. The other one would be used for coming down.
Oh, okay.
So you wouldn't...
So it was a one-way?
Yeah, you wouldn't like use the other one and that. No, it will always be like come up, go up, come down. So it'll be a situation where I'm like going up the stairs. People would stand literally at the bottom and start shaking the stairs and be like, I'm shaking the stairs. But meanwhile, I'm not doing anything. So it'll be like a situation of like going up, people will shake the stairs, or situations where I remember like there was a boy who liked me, but he was so embarrassed because I was bigger. So he would like tell me behind closed doors that he likes me, but in front of people, he would make fun of me.
Wow.
Yeah, so it would be a situation of like, when we get to class, he would make fun of me and laugh about it and everything, but behind closed doors, he'd be like, I like you, you understand? So that really also affected me to a point that I was like, I'm not dating in high school, I'm gonna wait till I'm done and then start doing everything I want to do.
So when did things start getting bad? Because, you know, somebody watching might think, yeah, but we were all teased, we were all bullied. But for you, it took quite a horrible turn. What was it that started happening?
In grade 9, I think late grade 9, I remember we had LO life orientation.
Yes.
So you had to participate in the sports you did, because in the
Yes.
curriculum, you'd have theory and then sports. So you had to participate for you to get the marks in order for you to pass. So I remember one day when we started this whole thing, I told my teacher, I was like, I'm on my period. I can't do LO. And I was not on my period. I knew very well I'm not. But because I was afraid of what was going to happen if I did try to participate, I was like, I'm on my period. I'm not going to do this.
And what sport were they asking you to do?
Like just normal things, exercising. But when you try to exercise, people will be like, what are you doing? You know? So I wouldn't do that. And I remember one day, I got home, the next day was LO. I went to the shop, I bought like those small razors. I started cutting my legs. I was like, I'm gonna cut my legs today. Tomorrow, I'm gonna like put patches, just 2 lines, I'm hurt. I can't jump or anything. So I'd cut my legs and be like, tomorrow I'm not doing anything. And that would be like a pattern of me cutting myself, saying I'm on my period, or just not pitching up to school and missing the whole day because I'm like, I'm not gonna go there. And when I don't go to school, it's like, you didn't come to school because you're afraid of LO. You didn't come to school because you didn't want to do the sports we did. And I was like, in my head, I was like, yeah, I didn't come because I knew you'd laugh at me. But in reality, I would lie and be like, I was sick. I'll tell my mom. My mom worked she stopped. She worked in Thsehla. So I'd also lie and call in the morning and be like, I'm not going to school, I'm sick, and pretend as if I'm coughing.
Yes.
Tell my grandmother the same thing. They would buy it, go to the doctor. I would just lie to the doctor and be like, my throat is sore. What is he gonna do, or what is she gonna do? Give me medication, and then I go home. My doctor's note, then I go home. So that would be the pattern of me trying to like take my life, but at the same time preventing myself from going to school.
So let's talk about the cutting. What was the first incident and what was going through your mind at the time?
Okay, so I knew the next day we had LO. So we were told next day, bring your shorts for the LO thing, bring shirts, bring shoes. First of all, my leggings didn't really feel comfortable. And I didn't have shirts that were long enough to hide certain areas. So they told us that. Then I got home, I'm like, what am I gonna do? I don't have the outfits that are correct for this thing. Am I gonna go to school, or what should I do? So another thing told me, go to the shops, get a razor blade, cut your legs, put patches the next day and be like, you're sick.
So wait, in your mind, I mean, I can completely sympathize with the fact that you were so tormented and you wanted to avoid a situation of being publicly humiliated again. But at what point, and this is the part I'm trying to understand, what is the thought process where you say, let me cut myself? Because someone might be thinking there were many other things you could have done before that route. So is it not that there's more to the story than just wanting to miss class?
No, there's really, at the first time, there was really nothing much to the story. I just wanted to miss class. I didn't want to attend. Because at that, I didn't even know I was depressed. I was just there like, I'm sad, yes. I cry myself to sleep, yes. But I didn't know depression. I didn't know what I had. I didn't learn about those things. So at that point, it was just like, I'm cutting myself. I'm going to school the next day, but I'm not going to participate. I'm just going to sit aside and be like, my legs hurt, and normal day for everybody.
So what was that moment of cutting yourself like? Because now you get a razor, you come home, and is it you watching yourself bleed and feeling some type of relief with the physical pain?
When I first did it, and I was like, what am I doing? I'm scared. But I was like, I'm not scared. I'm not afraid of pain. I've been hurt, so why not do it? I cut myself, bled. I remember when I was doing it, I was outside. My grandmother was indoors. But she wouldn't have known what I'm cutting myself. She probably thought I'm just doing my thing outside and I'm going to come back inside. Cut myself. And I was like, okay, I can do it. Let me do it more. I cut myself again. Up until to a point that my legs were stinging. Like, I felt it. I was like, it stings, but why not continue? It was nice, but it was also bad.
What was it that was nice about it? Is it a sense of relief?
Yes, the relief about it. I don't know, you just feel some sort of, you breathe. You breathe. I, for the first time in a long time, I felt like I could actually breathe.
The reason I'm delving so much into this part of the conversation is because there are many people who cut themselves, and the self-cutting is, in some of the cases, is in no way related to trying to take one's own life. So some people will describe the cutting as they want to be able to visually see and physically feel the pain that they are feeling inside but can't express. Was that the same for you?
True, it was. Because I didn't want to tell anybody. I didn't feel comfortable telling anybody, no matter how close I was to you. I didn't feel comfortable going to you and being like, I am being bullied at school. Because I knew you were going to tell my principal. I knew you were going to tell my teacher. My teacher was going to tell the bullies. So it was going to be a cycle of like, what? And the most thing that, the most big thing that traumatized me was like, what if I tell my mom or my dad, they call the school tells my bullies beat me up after school or something. So I told my teacher, I was like, I'm being bullied. I was here for this amount of time. That's why I didn't come to school. He was like, I thought you were the one bullying people.
How?
Yeah, and I was like, how? He was like, you know how bigger people usually bully the small people?
Wow.
I'm like, it's not even like that.
Yeah.
It's not. I was the one being bullied. I was the one crying. Yes, it's like the way it is these days, like the bigger person bullies people because they're not happy about who they are. But no, before people actually telling me that I'm fat, I was happy. It was never about me not being happy. So when he told me that, actually, I thought you were the one bullying people, that's what made me shut down even more.
Yeah, because it just adds to the pain of what you're going through being the victim, but now somebody has the perception that you're the perpetrator. So talk to us about when the psychological intervention happened.
Okay, so I was doing grade 10. I was done with my school year, and it was like the 30th of that December. And I was in my room. I remember blocking everybody, my family members on my status, and I wrote something about killing myself. I don't remember exactly what made me want to kill myself on that exact day, but I posted it, and I remember not blocking my aunt. And then I remember her coming to my room and asking me what's wrong. And I'm like, why would you ask me that? She was like, I saw your status. Then I told her, I've not been okay for quite some time. I've been hurting inside, but I'm not telling anybody because I don't feel like people will help me. I thought I was too damaged to even get help. So I told her that. The next year in June, she invited me to her house. I went to her house. Then out of nowhere, she's like, tomorrow I'm taking you to see a psychologist. At first I was like, why would you do that? I didn't ask that. In my head, I didn't tell her obvious because I don't want to make her feel bad. Then we went to the psychologist the next day, got there. That's when I realized I had a problem. I was really not okay. Told my psychologist what's wrong. She diagnosed me with depression, and then she referred me to a psychiatrist. I went to a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist told me that I'm not okay. I need to be admitted to a psychiatric clinic. At first, I was not happy about it because I was like, I don't want to go there. But then something told me you need to before it's too late.
Did you not want to go because you felt like you don't belong there, or you didn't want to go because you didn't want to get help?
I didn't think I needed help. So I didn't want to go because I didn't want help. I thought I could do it by myself. I thought I would be able to maneuver around high school while being bullied and finish everything without getting the help I needed. So I basically didn't want to go there because I didn't want to get help. So when she finally convinced me that I need to attend this place, I went. I remember the first day I got there, I was like, what am I doing? I thought it was a place for crazy people. Funny thing, when I got there, I'm like, what am I doing in this crazy place? Got there.
And it's interesting, you know, we've spoken to people who suffer from depression and other mental health challenges. And the perception is always that a psych ward or a mental health institution implies that they are crazy. And you also felt like, I don't belong here. This is for crazy people. And do you think that that is you judging yourself in that moment? If it's like somebody saying you need to be here, but you don't associate yourself with the people that go there?
Yes, I was judging myself. I didn't think I needed to be there because I thought that's the thing that I'm trying to say, that I thought it was for crazy people, and I didn't think I was crazy. I was 100% to myself. I was perfectly fine. Didn't matter if I was crying myself to sleep. I was fine. I didn't need the help that people thought I needed. So I was okay. Got there, and everything was fine. But then I'm not the type of person that opens up immediately. I take a pause and like get to know you first, and then realize that I can open up to you. So when I got there, it was really a struggle for my psychologist there to get me to open up, because I was like resistant on, I'm not gonna open up to you. Why do I have to open up to you?
So in that time that you were, you know, in this ward, when did it click to you that I actually need to be here?
About a week later. A week later of being there. And I remember I didn't make friends, but there was one specific person that I really bonded with. And I felt like me and the person were going through a lot. So I saw what she was going through, and I realized that I'm actually going through the same thing. And I might need her, because she had already accepted that she needs help. I hadn't. So it was a situation of like, I realized the weekend there, I was like, I need help. I'm not okay. This cutting of myself, the drinking of my mom's pills is not okay. It's something that a person who's okay, as I claim to be, wouldn't do. So that's when I realized the weekend that I'm not okay, and I have to fix it before it's time for me to leave.
Was there a point before you being in the hospital that you had actively tried to take your own life?
Many times. Many times. I remember like many incidences where I took my mom's medication. Some medication she would leave at home, so I'd take that and drink. I started cutting myself on my wrist. Now it got worse to a point of every time I woke up the next day or when I woke up after trying to take my life, I'd get irritated with myself. I'd be like, why? Why don't I just like leave this world? Why should I wake up? So it'd be a point of, yes, I'd go to school happy. But when I get home, I'll try to kill myself. And I made a point that when I'm talking to you now, you wouldn't know, because I would pretend to be happy. And then when I get home, I know that's when the real issue starts. And nobody still would know at home. I mean, everybody was surprised when they found out that I was admitted into a psychiatric care. They were like, what's going on? You know, because I didn't let anyone in, no matter how close you were to me. I wouldn't tell you. I'd feel like taking medication and hoping not to wake up the next day would be a good thing for me.
Okay, so you're a week in the ward, and what was your turnaround moment or that pivot point in your healing journey?
Okay, so luckily the psychologist I got was also a lady that was plus size. So when she narrated her story about being bullied in high school for having bigger legs and stuff, that's when I thought, okay, I could trust you and maybe you could help me heal. Because she made me see the things in a different light. She made me realize that actually I don't need confirmation from other people. Even if other people always have a say in your life. They would always be like, you're not doing good, you should do better, whatever. But it's up to you to decide that you are happy, you are proud of who you are, you are happy in your body, and you love yourself the way you are. So it was like the turning point where she narrated a story and just told me that I can do this, and I'm like, I should believe in myself. That's when I realized that, that I can do this, I guess.
You were eventually discharged. And what was it that the psychologist told you to do? They gave you homework when you went home.
They did.
And what was that homework?
They gave me a book that I should write in. They gave me things I should read, because we had classes. It was like almost like I was in high school, but you had to learn about your mental health, boundaries and everything like that. So you had like books from those classes on what to do and stuff like that. But it didn't really, because I remember the day when I was told that I have to go home, I cried. I literally cried, and I couldn't believe how much I was crying, because I was like, 2 weeks ago, I didn't want to be here. But now I'm crying because I don't want to leave, because I felt like that was my safe place. People, they understood me. They didn't judge me. They didn't say, you are fair. They actually encouraged me and were like, you're actually beautiful. They complimented me. So I cried when I realized that I had to go home that day. And I was like, why do I have to go home? But I knew my time was up, and I needed to go and challenge myself and and see if I'm really healed. So yeah, and I was not healed, because like 3 weeks later I relapsed.
So when you say you relapsed, was it relapse in the cutting or in trying to take your own life?
In trying to take my own life.
So what happened that you wanted to take your own life again?
I remember going back to school, and because I went to the psychiatric care later on, because we were closed for June. So I went when it was almost time to open. So I missed like 2 weeks of school. So when I missed that, I went back to school. People asked me, where are you? But I couldn't tell them. I couldn't be like, I'm from here, I'm from there. So I just kept quiet. And then I remember an incident of some boy who literally bullied me till my last day of school, said something to me, and I was like, something triggered in me. I was like, actually, I'm not healed. I don't know what healing is. So when he said mean things to me, I remember going home just saying, you know what, if I can't get help now and heal, let me just take my own life, and I hope this time it works. But every time I tried it, it never worked. It always never worked.
And how long ago was that?
In grade 11, let's say 2 years and a half, somewhere there, because I finished school early.
So you finished school, and was that a relief for you?
It was. It was a big relief, because I couldn't wait to leave school. As much as I thought because I remember in grade 10, I decided that I want to go and I want to run for prefect, because I felt like being a leader would make everybody stop bullying me. Being in front of people would make everybody believe that actually we shouldn't bully this person. She's our leader. So I remember running for prefect, and I got my prefect badge in grade 11. Immediately at the beginning of the year, I got my prefect badge, and I was a prefect, but nothing helped. The bullying still went on. It's like people didn't care. They didn't notice me. Then I was like, okay, in grade 12, I'm going to become a head girl. And I'm going to make sure nobody does. Because even if I'm a prefect, I don't feel like I should abuse my power and start being mean to people. But I just wanted the respect that she's our leader, don't do this. So when I ran for head girl in grade 12, unfortunately, I didn't get that position. I was still a prefect though, but I didn't get the head girl position. So it hurt, but I was like, maybe I can turn things around and make things different. But they didn't. So when I left high school, I was like, oh, thank goodness. I might not know what the future holds. I might not know, maybe university is going to get worse and I'm going to be bullied more. But at least I'm over this stage and I've passed. I'm leaving my bullies behind.
Did you also get bullied online, or was it like restricted to what was happening at school?
Online, it was not that bad, because one thing about me, I didn't have confidence. So I'd only post face pictures of myself, selfies, basically. I didn't have the confidence to post my whole body. That's how bullying in school affected me. It'll get to a point when we're taking class photos, I always wanted to be at the back. When we doing things, I wouldn't want to be in front, but I wanted to be. That's when I realized that those things couldn't work. But online, it was not that deep. Maybe if I get bullied, because somebody will be like, why are you hiding your body? But because you're fat. I'd be like, nah, I don't like taking full body pictures, but deep down I know that's not the reason. That's not why I didn't want to take pictures and stuff like that. So online was not bad. It was just like the real life thing. And in my town, it is very small. You can't say I'm moving to the next school. It's very small. You only have like 3 private schools. We have public schools, but I thought they were gonna be worse. So if I had to move from one private school to another, we only had like 3 or 4. So even if I had to move, everybody knew me. They knew me as the fat girl. I mean, we had to take the same mode of transport going home, a taxi rank. So everybody, we met at the taxi rank with other schools, so they knew me as the fat girl. Even if I wanted to change schools, it will still happen.
So where are you today in regards to your mental health and what you're doing with your life?
My mental, I'm working on it. I'm trying my best. I haven't tried committing suicide in a long time, in months now. Maybe like, I don't know, 6 months or something like that. And I'm working on it. I don't think I'm healed. I think I have a long journey, but now at least I have gained some sort of confidence. I know that people shouldn't dictate how I feel. And I know that everything I am or doing, even if somebody doesn't agree with it, at least I know my truth. So with my mental health, I'm working on it. It's a journey, it's a process. Next year, I'm studying more therapy sessions, but now I'm working on myself and healing myself. With school, I took a gap year this year because I wanted to heal from all the bullying. It was too much. I couldn't transition from high school to varsity immediately. So I decided to stay at home and just work on myself. But next year, I'm definitely going back to school.
I am glad that you're at a place where you recognize what's happening with you. You've gone to seek out the help, or let me say somebody intervened to assist you. Are you still going to therapy at the moment?
I'm not at the moment because I live in Palabora and it's a small town. We don't really have therapists to help us. So I decided to take a pause in that. And I was like, I'll start it again next year when I go to a new province.
What would you like the viewers to know about bullying and your journey?
I would like them to know that bullying happens. And even if your child doesn't tell you that they're being bullied, I feel like parents should, not even parents, because it's not the parents' fault, it's the other kids' fault. I feel like also teachers should also intervene, because I knew my teachers knew I was being bullied, but they didn't care because they also bullied me, most of them. So
Your teachers bullied you?
Yeah, they would disguise it as helping me.
Like, give me an example of what they
Like
do.
when I had a lunch box, like, you know those, I don't know what they call those bags to put your lunch box inside. So after lockdown and all the corona and stuff, my mom didn't allow me to carry money because she knew I'd buy things that were not sanitary or something like that. So I'd have to carry lunch boxes. But because that thing was big, and even if I had one lunch box and water and stuff, people would assume, my teachers would assume that I have more than one lunch box. So they would be like, why are you carrying that big bag? Why are you eating so many lunch boxes? And I'd be like, it's only one. I remember one teacher passed me and I was eating my sandwich. And I was sitting, I was not bothering anybody, but I was sitting, she paused there. I don't know what was going on in her head or whether she was going through a bad time, but she just stopped in front of me. I was like, you know you'll get fat. You know you will die. Why are you eating those things? And I'm like, it's just a sandwich. It's not like it has, I don't know what.
But also, like, you're a teacher and that's not your role. That's not your position at this moment. I understand what you're saying.
So it also happens in the teachers. As much as they say they're helping us, they're not helping us. It's actually too much. So it starts with the teachers educating people about bullying, because in my school, it was a topic, but it was not really a topic. So them talking about it and telling people that it's not good helps. So it's all about the teachers and just people realizing that bullying exists. And don't think if a person tells you I'm being bullied today, you think they're the ones that are supposed to be bullying other people because they're big. No, they also go through bullying. A lot of people that are big go through bullying because they are big. So people should learn that. I think I made it. And I survived everything that I thought I wouldn't survive. So people should learn that there's always a way out. High school is not the end of the road. And after high school, you don't even care about the people that bullied you. Yes, it's still traumatic, but you don't care. It's nobody, you even forget about those people at some point and they forget about you.
Good for you for standing up for yourself and doing right by you by going to get help. I do hope you reach a point, like you said, when you are at school and in a different province that you have access to continue the therapy because you understand that that journey is something that's continuous. I hope you don't find yourself in as dark a place again where you feel like you'd like to take your own life. But I think even you sharing that shows everybody watching the seriousness and the impact that bullying can have on a person where you don't have a self-esteem, you don't have self-confidence, and you don't see the value in you still being alive. So thank you so much for talking to us and for sharing your story, Thsehla.
Thank you so much for having me.
#Unpacked with Relebogile. We speak about mental health quite often on the show, but I think today's focus just goes to show that while bullying happens so often, be it online, be it in school, be it even in the workplace, the effects are real and they can be long-lasting. Can you imagine the number of people who have taken their own lives due to being bullied by another person? This is the reality that many are facing, and I hope today we can be a bit more aware of it and sensitive to the needs of other human beings and to treat each other with that kindness that we all deserve. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night. Next time on Unpacked.
There was a post somewhere on Facebook about the child that was lost. Then I was able to predict where the child was and how they were going to find the child.
When you have a gift or a calling, yes, there's the part of you which you are born with, but there's a part of you that needs to be guided.
I had to let go of so many things that I thought I understood and now follow this new route.
Thank you so much for watching Unpacked with Relebogile Mabotja. Make sure you subscribe to my channel where you can get to watch more episodes. But more importantly, you can be part of our online community. Comment down below, share with us who you'd like to see on the show, what story you'd like us to discuss. We love engaging with you. Keep it coming and don't forget to subscribe.